The Big WECK presents Buffalo on the Rise, sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process. Welcome to the television show devoted to local business, Buffalo on the Rise, with your host, Joe Chili. There's an entrepreneurial spirit in Western New York that's putting our area on the cusp of greatness. Each week, Buffalo on the Rise features local business leaders and decision makers who are shaping our future. If it's about local business, we'll talk about it right here, right now, during Buffalo on the Rise.
I'm Joe Chili. On this edition of the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise, I'll introduce you to some interesting people from hometown businesses with interesting stories to tell, like Jesse Kohler from Kohler Awning, celebrating an anniversary year throwing shade on Western New York homes, making your summer smile shine with Dr. Kaplansky from Kaplansky Dental. And Jeff Hahn from SC Parker is here. Do you want your investments to grow? Find out how on this edition of the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise. Stay with us. Hi, I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big WECK. Joining us on the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise today is Jesse Kohler from Kohler Awning, the owner of Kohler Awning. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. You know, we were just talking the fact that you've been around 100 years. You know, we were talking to SC Parker recently. They've been around 100 years. I guess the idea, if you have a Kohler Awning, you're probably going to be able to last 100 years. In the business, we're going to kind of push that out there.
Well, the fountain of youth is underneath an awning. So
well, there you go. 100 years. How do you stay in business for 100 years?
By putting out a very high quality product. We've been lucky to have a lot of really good employees who've stuck with us throughout the years, and we're constantly looking at our product to see how we can make it better, not how we can make it cheaper.
So what do you think makes the product so popular? Let me preface that by saying I don't see any fewer awnings in Western New York now than I have in the past. I mean, they're growing by leaps and bounds.
Well, people just like pools. People in Buffalo, they like to enjoy the area outside when they have the great weather. So the one way to capitalize on it is, sitting out on your porch or your patio, and they forget that the sun shines and it gets hot out there. So we provide them with an awning, a space that's like an outdoor room. People just love their awnings. They're like, I live out there in the summertime.
You know, it's funny, you and I mentioned this before we went on the air. I had a Kohler Awning, and I loved being out. I had a hammock that I had off to one side. If it rained, I'd push it under the Kohler Awning, right? And to sleep with the rain kind of, coming off the awning. I mean, I sound like I'm crazy, but you said you can totally identify, huh?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's when I use my awning the most, is in the rain. It's, like I said, it creates an outdoor room. It's an area that you could use regardless of the weather. If you're having an event or a gathering, you know that you're going to be able to entertain outside.
Now, what about the awnings themselves? Do you have a showroom where people can come in and see different types of awnings?
Absolutely. On 2600 Walden Avenue, we have full-size patio awnings up. We have full-size retractables, and we also have motorized screens and window awnings and drop-arm awnings. So we have, quite a good-sized showroom that shows a lot of our products.
What's a motorized screen?
So a motorized screen is, a lot of people also have covered porches where they don't have a fabric awning, but they have a covered porch, a wood roof.
Okay, yeah.
And what they find out is that doesn't block all the sun either. So they need some protection from the sun or the wind or the rain. And we provide a motorized shade, which we just fill the open areas with either a fabric or a mesh, which has like only a 4 to 5% opening where you could still see out. Blocks the wind, blocks the sun, blocks the rain, but you can still see out.
What about the manufacturing process? You're making these awnings. How's it changed over the years?
Well, for us, we were constantly investing in our equipment. We get cutting edge equipment now. We have a computerized cutting machine, which helps us with marking the fabric and telling the sewers where to sew. And we also have a high-tech welding machine where we put the fabrics together with heat, pressure, and adhesive. I'm sure my uncle, my great-grandfather, they would be just wowed if they walked into our facility right now to see the type of machinery that we have. And it's not replacing people, it's actually helping the people that we have working for us, that we're able to push more product through because we can automate some of it.
Jesse, when people come in, and they start talking about an awning, they say, we're looking for an awning. Can they specify design or color, or how far can they go on customizing their awning?
They could customize as much as they want, and we could help them. We're a one-stop shop. We could take a look at your house. If you bring in a picture, or email us a picture, or we'll come out to your house too. You just give us a call and we'll come out to your house and take a look at your situation and give you advice on where's the best place to start it, where's the best place to end it, and also help you with some color design to match the house or pull out the colors of the house.
The other thing is when people come out, it's not like you have awnings in stock and they're going, let's look through the stock here. You're making awnings to fit whatever they have to do, the need is, right?
That's correct. We're kind of unique. Like if you have an HVAC guy, he might, and you need a new air conditioner, he'll order the air conditioner and then he'll bring it out to your house and install it.
Right.
Well, we do all of it. We manufacture it, we design it, and we install it. So, we're kind of unique in that way.
And I think the other thing that, I wanted to ask you about, when we had our awning, you'd come out in spring and install it. You'd take it down in, just before winter and store it, because most people think, where am I going to store an awning, right?
Right.
And you do this for many people.
Right, yeah. We have, we're very busy in the springtime. We service a tremendous amount of customers in Western New York. We'll come out, put it up for you. And then in the fall, we take it down, store it in a climate-controlled area to make sure that it's great, it's put up correctly and taken around properly, and stored properly as well.
We have about a minute left. What's the process for buying an awning?
So typically you could call the office at 685-3333, set up an appointment at your convenience. We do have some evening and Saturday hours. We'll come out to your house, measure your area, design it. We could give you a price right there. You could pick out the color right then, and we could give you a delivery date, give us a deposit, and we'll tell you when you're going to get your awning, and you'll be able to enjoy the rest of your life. Sounds
great. And generally, how long does it take?
Right now, we're about 3 to 4 weeks for a traditional patio awning.
Okay, that's great. Jesse, thank you. We really appreciate it. For more information and answers to your questions, you can contact Kohler Awning at 2600 Walden Avenue in Cheektowaga. The number is 716-685-3333 and online at kohlerawning.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by Kohler Awning. And don't forget to join me weekday mornings, 7 to 9 a.m. on the Big WECK. I'm Joe Chili. You can listen to me mornings on the Big WECK. Joining us today on the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise is Dr. Kaplansky. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Joe?
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. One of the things that I noticed when I was prepping and doing some of the research for the show itself is the fact that there are a lot of national firms. There are a lot of firms that come in now and they're advertising in it. And I always wonder, I like to have local people that I can call on. If I have a dentist, I want to go to the same dentist all the time. I don't want to go to, the dentist of the day, right, if you will. So what sets you apart from like the national firms?
Well, absolutely. So there's a big move in dentistry now is to consolidate, and basically dentists are selling their practices to larger companies. They're called DSOs. And most of the offices that you see out there, even though they might say Dr. So-and-so, they actually are part of a huge conglomerate, and it's a big corporate organization where profit is the most important thing. So we are a privately owned, very personable, and local dental office. You always see the same people when you come, and we take good care of patients.
What do you think, we know that you're in Gasport, and to some people Gasport may seem like it's a way off or whatever, but you have people from all over Western New York and Southern Ontario coming to you, right?
Absolutely. So Gasport obviously not the center of the universe, and many people don't even know where it is, but The services that we provide, the process that we invented, and what we do for these patients is so unique that people have absolutely no problem traveling to us from Toronto, from Erie, Pennsylvania, from even Albany.
You say that you can have dental implants in less than a day. Now, is that really true? Less than a day for dental implants?
It does sound sort of magical, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes, the process is really unique, and it uses patients' native bone or native tissue, so we don't rely on grafts. And by doing that and placing implants strategically and kind of joining them together with prosthesis as a brace, we can load these implants right away and give people teeth within 24 hours.
How long did it take you personally to get to the point that you are now, to the teeth now process?
Well, I've been a dentist for 30 years, and I've been in practice in New York for 25 years. And it's pretty much a lifelong journey for me. And every year I just get better, like that wine or cheese.
And there's nothing up your sleeve, right? I want to make sure we're talking about, a magic here and things like that. It is a revolutionary process. Now, it is, you talk about this happening in less than a day. Yes. Traditionally, when we're talking about dental implants, is it something that can take weeks or a month or whatever?
Traditionally, it can take months, sometimes years. So let's say a person doesn't have teeth anymore, and they have deficient bone. They have not enough bone. They would come to a doctor and they would say, well, you're either not a candidate for a procedure or you will require grafting. So grafting takes sometimes months, sometimes years. Patient doesn't have teeth all that time. They just go in toothless and they're undergoing grafting surgeries. Then after grafting, they would attempt to place implants. A lot of times the grafted bone isn't as strong, so the implants cannot be placed. So then you already wasted a whole bunch of time. You wasted a bunch of money. You had no teeth all this time, and now you're stuck with the denture anyways. So a lot of patients experience this kind of a cycle of okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I just spend a lot of time and money, and I'm back to where I was with the denture.
Now, when you're talking about dental implants, because I grew up, not that I have dentures, but I grew up in the age of dentures. And there was, you just see people, corn on the cob, pushing it out of the way. Apples, pushing them out of the way. Caramels, pushing them out of the way. Dental implants, can you eat all those things?
You can eat anything. With dentures, you're relying on adhesive. So a lot of people buy denture glue by a bucket, literally, and they put it in there, and the denture comes loose while they're chewing. They have to reapply the adhesive a few times throughout the meal. Dental implants, the way we do it, pretty much gives you a chewing power when we're done, when the process is all finished. Not only identical to natural teeth, but sometimes even stronger, even better. We measure their bite force, and there's actually an appliance that can measure the bite force. And their bite force is tremendous. They can bite through anything.
I think there are women in my past that really wanted me to fall asleep and then put that adhesive on my mouth so I didn't talk anymore. I don't say that works successfully. Some people are told that they're just not a candidate for dental implants. Well, what's your response to that?
Most of the time we say, yes, you are a candidate. So the way it works, again, is we place implants into patients' native bone. So most patients that have been told that they're not candidates, the dentist only looks at the area where the teeth would go. We go to the other areas in the face, such as zygomatic areas, which is a cheekbone. There's an area behind the jaw on the upper called pterygoid plate. There's also areas inside the nose that can be used. There's called transnasal implants. So we can do all these things. I'm pretty much the only dentist, the only oral implantologist in this area that is qualified to perform these procedures.
Well, for more information and answers to your questions, contact Dentistry by Dr. Kaplansky by calling 716-772-7500 or go to drkaplansky.com. Promotional and sponsorship consideration provided by the following. I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big WECK. Joining us on the Big WECK Buffalo on the Rise today is Jeff Hahn from SC Parker. Jeff, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Joe?
Good to see you. I'm doing very well. And you know what? When we start talking investments, my hands start to sweat. Because you know so much more about this than I do. I almost feel that.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would almost feel that we should have like somebody, maybe of your tutelage, somebody that you have instructed to kind of hang around with us most of the time, so we don't make any mistakes. Does that work? Or do we still make mistakes even when we're in the business?
I don't know if I'm quite getting where you're going on this one,
I'm just saying,
Joe.
in fact, whenever I make a financial decision, I'm always like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, stock market, is it still in flux, if you will?
It is always in flux.
In flux.
Yes. We're out of the correction. We had a pretty deep correction, ended in March or April, and we've pulled out of it. May was a very good month. The market is basically back to where it started the beginning of the year at.
So that's a good thing, I guess. What's the difference? I don't really get this. What's the difference between stocks and bonds?
Oh, great question. So a stock, when you invest in a stock, what you are doing is buying ownership of a company. When you put money into bonds, you're making loans. So they're completely different financial activities, completely different investment activities, completely different usage of money, right? You can only do so many things with $1, Joe. You can buy something or you can lend it. And when you put money in your bank account, you're lending it to the bank.
When you talk about, like, for instance, treasury bills,
Yeah.
are they bonds?
Yes, they're a
Okay,
loan.
they are. They're
You're
a loan.
lending the money to the U.S. government.
And a lot of countries do this too. I mean, in treasury bills, it's not just here in the States. I mean, you might have China or whatever that bought. You can buy treasury bills, right? Anybody can invest?
It's a global market. Anybody can invest in them. The Treasury has $35 trillion worth of debt, and it's all different types of bonds.
Now, not you specifically, but SC Parker's been around for 100 years.
Yes, we have.
I want to make sure. 100 years.
We are celebrating the 100-year anniversary of SC Parker. We are the longest continuous running investment firm in the Buffalo area.
That's incredible to me.
It is.
It's incredible in any kind of business,
Right.
let alone a business. You're saying, when you're talking about the stock market, it's constantly in flux.
Yes.
So that means your business is constantly in flux as well.
Well, the value of people's accounts and our own money is constantly changing when it's invested in the stock market. The economy is constantly changing, Joe, and a stock market just kind of reflects that, I guess.
What about planning for individuals, whether it be for me, my personal planning, estate planning, which I'm not really sure. Maybe you can tell us exactly what that is too.
So there's a difference between just investing and then the financial planning side. And that's two things that we spend a lot of time on. The plan is very much individualized. We can all buy Apple, right? We can all buy Microsoft. But our financial plan has to do with our circumstances, our life, and what steps we can take to make our life better. It's a big difference. It involves your money, but it's not focused solely on your money.
Let me ask you one other thing too.
Yeah.
A term that I don't really understand, and maybe our audience doesn't either. Generational wealth.
Yeah, it's a big thing for us. We have accounts that originated in 1925.
Really?
Yes, they're on the third, fourth, and even fifth generation of some families. So generational wealth it's a goal, right? Where one generation is passing along invested assets or wealth to the following generations. It becomes more and more important, we think, as economic uncertainty in general increases. You know, the world is changing, technology is changing, but the transfer of wealth, the creation of wealth, and the good practices that bring that about are a big part of what we do, and something that we concentrate on.
Is that what they're talking about when they talk about old money? And you know,
kind of.
You heard that expression before, you know, oh, they come from old money.
Yeah, that, you know, the Woolworths or the W.T. Grant, and they'd pass down, you know, the Walmarts and that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, when they refer to me, they say he comes from small money. so just so you
Friends in
realize.
low places, Joe, we all got them.
Exactly. I mean, that's generally the way that it works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if people would like to get a hold of you, best way to reach SC Parker.
Give us a call at the office, 632-6800. And if you call during business hours, our lovely Susan will answer the phone, and it will always be answered by a human being. You won't get a machine.
That's very good. Lovely Susan.
Yeah.
For more information and answers to your questions, contact lovely Susan at SC Parker, 5892 Main Street in Williamsville. You can call 716-632-6800 and online at scparker.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by SC Parker. The views expressed on the program are general in nature and are not intended to be investment advice. Any discussion of individual securities should not be construed as a recommendation or solicitation by the presenters. And don't forget to join me weekday mornings, 7 to 9 a.m. on the Big WECK. Thanks for watching this edition of the Big WECK presents Buffalo on the Rise. For information on this and other shows, go to our website, bigweck.com, and find out how you can participate on the program if you're a hometown business. I'm Joe Chili. Thanks for watching and listening to the Big WECK, Buffalo's oldie station.
The Big WECK presents Buffalo on the Rise was sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process.